All right, so time to head to the gym. Hold up. What? Gym's closed. What? No! What is going on, guys? My name is Daniel Lewis, and if you're like me, you've probably been told to stay home and avoid all public places just to help the prevention of spreading of the coronavirus. Unfortunately, that also means that we have to avoid the one place that truly gives us serenity, and that is the gym. But just because the gym is closed doesn't mean that we still can't obtain our fitness goals, and it doesn't mean that we can't be healthy nor active at home. So in this video, I'm gonna give you guys a set of workouts as well as exercises that you can follow along at home, and you guys can remain active while you're in quarantine. But before we get into the video, make sure you leave the video a like so the channel can grow, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. So we're gonna break down all the movements by splits. We're gonna be doing push, pull, and legs. Now keep in mind, guys, before you actually do the movements itself, I don't want you guys to aim for a rep range of like 12 to 15, but rather work till failure. And the reason I say that is because we want to replicate the stimulus that you would feel at the gym. Instead of going for a 12 to 15 rep range when you're doing 80 pounds, since your body weight is the only resistance that you're going to be feeling, you're going to have to do a higher rep range. So just consider yourself going to failure or very close to it, and that way you can start feeling the stimulus that you would feel at the gym. So with the first movement, we're going to be doing a staple and push exercises, and that's the push-up. Now, while most people know how to do a traditional push-up, the main focus behind these push-ups is not to just pump them out, but rather just develop the stimulus and make sure we get a full contraction and full range of motion behind doing the actual push-up itself. For the next movement, you're gonna have to find a piece of furniture to keep your legs elevated, and we're gonna do an elevated push-up. The same concept applies with the incline push-up. You're just gonna be focusing more on your upper chest. Now, when it comes to your triceps, there's a couple of exercises that you can do that will specifically target your triceps. I'm gonna list both of them so you guys can just switch it up whenever you want. For the first movement, you're gonna need an elevated piece of equipment, maybe a chair, your bed, any piece of furniture that just stands above the ground. And you're just gonna stand out. For the second movement, we're going back to push-ups, but this time we're gonna be doing a close stance push-up. Now, I know there's gonna be some people out there that say, those don't count. You gotta do the diamond push-up. And for those of you that wanna go the diamond push-up route, go ahead. So when it comes to your shoulders, it's a little bit more difficult to target when you don't have the shoulder nor the core strength to withstand yourself and allow yourself to do maybe something like a handstand push-up. But for those of you that can't do it, inclusive of myself, there are some alternatives out there that we can do. So again, you're gonna need an elevated surface, butt up, pull apart. Now, if that version is a little bit too difficult, you can also do it on the ground. Just make sure your feet are up. Tell you guys, it makes you work up a sweat. Now, I do recommend that you guys do these movements in a circuit style training, whether you're doing it push, pull, leg, however you want to break it down. By all means do so, but as I mentioned, don't focus on rep range, focus on going to failure, and focus on getting that stimulus into your muscles, the ideas that you want to recreate when you do in the gym at home. So if you guys don't have pull-up bar at home, it is a little more difficult to do the pull exercises, but if you have something simple like an elastic band, you can make something work. So what I did was I tied a knot at the end of my elastic band. I'm gonna open up the door, put this end inside, close the door, let's get to work. So with our elastic band installed into our door, we're gonna start with some rows. Here. Now, quick tip for you guys, if you guys do decide to do these type of pull movements, my suggestion is that you focus on the mind-muscle connection and you really focus on the squeeze. It helps develop that stimulus that you're looking for in your back and wherever you're trying to hit when you're doing the pull movements. So the next movement we're gonna be doing, we're gonna use our elastic band and we're just gonna pull down as you would for a lat pull down. thing about having an elastic band is that you can replicate a lot of the movements that you would do at the gym at home. So here we're gonna be doing face pulls. Now the first thing you can do with the elastic band is that you step on it as you normally would. Cross. And curl. But alternatively, you can also tie it up to a banister or something like that. Once you tie it to the banister, make as much resistance as you can and give yourself a curl. The more resistance, the more challenging it gets. So as you guys can see, having an elastic band is actually really beneficial to do a lot of the pool movements that we're doing at home. But the challenge is to have an elastic band under quarantine. If you don't have one, don't worry. As long as you guys stay subscribed, one of the future videos I'm doing for these home workouts is going to be for those of you that don't have any equipment at all. So make sure you subscribe, and let's move on to legs. So for legs, there's a couple of things that you can do. I'm not going to create an exhaustive list for it, just because there's a lot of movements that you probably do at the gym normally. For one, we're going to start with air squats. The next movement we'll be doing is a single leg pistol squat. Now if you're like me and you have a busted knee, doing single leg pistol squats is not an easy task. But if you have something to sit on, you can replicate the movement. And for the last movement, we're going to be going into Bulgarian split squats. One leg elevated on a piece of furniture. Just dip down. So to recap for you guys, the first thing that we did is we broke down everything by splits. We did push, pull, and legs. Secondly, we want to make sure that we don't work within a rep range, but rather we work till failure or close to it, or we work under a certain amount of time. Ultimately, I find when you try to circuit train everything, it's actually a lot more effective. It helps you build up a sweat, and it makes you feel like you're actually doing something effective at home. And lastly, if you don't have any equipment, that's perfectly okay. That doesn't stop you guys from actually doing something at home, which you could do like push-ups, you could do shoulder work, you could do leg work. I mean, it might be a little more difficult to do something in the pull movements, like the pull-ups and stuff like that, but that's okay. You can find all alternatives. And as I mentioned, if you guys subscribe, I do have content planned for those of you that have no equipment and things that you can use around the house that could actually serve as a workout. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Now I'm starting like a big time.